that game that the illusion plays with you until you're ready is over. You're almost robbed of this false endeavor, this false drive. I must seek this out. I must have this. It just fades. It's not important anymore. And then you can go and still experience whatever it is that you think you want, or whatever it is that the divine brings into your life, whether it is a person or an experience or traveling to some unknown location you've never traveled to before, things that you wouldn't even be able to imagine. Welcome back to the Void Compass. You know, there is a beauty to witnessing the rain that arrives unconventionally during summertime. There's something so beautiful about it. There's something unexpected. Maybe not if you live in the UK like myself, but there's still some against the grain element to experiencing rain showers during the midst of summer. There's something beautiful about it. Even as I gaze outside of my window now, seeing the wind move powerfully through the trees, hearing the gentle pitter-patter of raindrops on my window. There's a beauty in recognizing that there is an inherent intelligence to all of those happenings, no matter how small, no matter how general. They are happening with or without your consent, with or without any of your mental involvement. And they occur perfectly. Nobody's planning them. No one's thinking them into existence. They just occur. And much like your life experience, where there is a river with a set course moving in its perfect trajectory towards your consciousness conclusion, regardless of whether you are flapping your arms around in that river, or you are making shapes with your hands in the river, the flow of the river itself does not change. It knows exactly where it wants to lead you, and it will not have it another way. And there's something so beautiful about that. When you really feel into that, you'll notice that there's a downtick in mental activity. Your mind suddenly stops thinking quite as much. It feels safer. It feels almost parent-like, knowing that there is a higher intelligent force that is guiding the proceedings of your life, no matter how unconventional those proceedings appear to be at the level of the mind. And remember, the mind only feels those things are unconventional based on its past experiences, the knowledge it has accrued in this lifetime, and the innocence/hubris that it displays when it attempts to encapsulate and judge those experiences at face value. And you can witness this in every aspect of your life, whether it's your career or your relationship or whatever story it may be. Your mind has something to say about it, and you're free to listen. It is your choice to listen. It is your choice to identify with it and say, yes, I agree. This is a terrible circumstance. And there's a feeling of vindication that comes with it. The mind always sees itself separate from the illusion, separate from the experience. The mind sees things always as object to object within a space. I am this object, that situation or thing or person is that object, And the space in between us is what I recognize, because you are living in a time-space reality, and the mind is only able to experience it at its ostensible separateness. Deeper presence and awareness knows this is not the case. It doesn't need to explain it. It knows it. It feels it. And it can take part in those experiences without seeing them as separate. Imagine that. Imagine being able to fully recognize that you are in an illusion that is here for your benefit and for the benefit of the collective, without necessarily not taking part in physical experience. Being able to fully participate presently with an open heart, lovingly, kindly, being of service, having fun, having sometimes fantastical experiences, but all the while never losing yourself within them, never needing them, whatever those experiences may be. What are some of people's favorite wanted experiences? Take a relationship, for example. You'll hear that one a lot. What if you could experience a relationship so fully, so beautifully, with every physical experience, every emotional experience, commensurate with it, without being invested? Look at that protest within the mind as soon as I said the word invested. You're asking me to not be invested in my person, in my partner? What kind of a person would do that and not be? I didn't say you cannot love them. I did not say you cannot embrace the experience fully. I'm saying do not be invested at the level of the mind. There is a big difference. Be present. Be aware with them. Be yourself, your authentic, true self, in the presence of them. But never be confused that this is something happening outside of you, and that the love that you are experiencing and that depth is happening exterior to you. This is a source of so much suffering. When you are buying into a belief that the reason why your relationship feels so wonderful, so soul-connected, is because that energy is contained within this other person, when in reality, all you are feeling is more of the presence that is already contained within you. It's already there. You have access to it in every present moment. Right now, listening to me right now, you have the same presence and the same energy connection that you would feel with the most wonderful soulmate, partner, twin flame, whatever you want to say. That feeling of home and deep soul connection, yes, it is within you right now. No matter how much the mind protests otherwise, I don't care. The mind will not see it this way, because it is built to see object and another object within space. It is not built to feel and experience unity consciousness. But presence is. What if you can become so present that this entire setup of needing and wanting experiences outside of you for fulfillment fades? And it doesn't fade because you want it to fade. It doesn't fade because you thought your way out of it. It fades because you had a direct experience with what presence actually offers. And then there's simply no other way but to have it fade, because you've seen and known and experienced too much. As I've said before, the jig is up. That game that the illusion plays with you until you're ready is over. You're almost robbed of this false endeavor, this false drive. I must seek this out. I must have this. It just fades. It's not important anymore. And then you can go and still experience whatever it is that you think you want, or whatever it is that the divine brings into your life, whether it is a person or an experience or traveling to some unknown location you've never traveled to before, things that you wouldn't even be able to imagine. And you can experience all of that and be grateful in the present moment for having the breath that you breathe into your lungs. You can be present with it. You're not trying to secure it or make it stay, or because you understand it is God playing within form. That is how life was meant to be lived, without investment at the level of the mind, without separation consciousness, knowing that yes, you are in a dreamlike illusion that is designed to wake you up to your divinity, and then you can go ahead and have all the experiences that you want to have without the suffering that only arises when you attach to those external experiences. Instead, you allow yourself to flow. You flow wherever the river decides to take you, without resistance and without suffering. It really is that simple. I understand the process may not be that quick, but at its most basic fundamental level, moving out of suffering is that simple. Once you have real experience with your true nature, who and what you are, beyond this physical body, beyond this physical life, you cannot return knowing what you know, feeling what you feel in every present moment. You cannot return to the way you used to do things. And there's freedom. There's liberation. I think that's all I have for you today. I just wanted to touch on this. I want you all to experience the simplicity, the lack of attachment to what is happening in your physical experience, so that you can be free, so you can be happy, you can be fulfilled, regardless of what happens in your physical reality. And I want you to be aligned with your own true divine nature, your direct vertical connection to God. And once you're there, go and experience everything you want to experience, everything that is aligned for you, from that liberated space. That is my wish. I am going to leave it here, but I will see you next time on the Void Compass with more.